Also, if you are a Wolfpack family member, do not forget we will be having a Wolves Den today as well, shortly after this live event, depending on how long this goes. So definitely be ready for that. And we're going to get into these rankings. I'm going to tell you what I think. I got my own categories. It's my opinion. I don't care what other people might say. It's based on what I say and how I feel about how the season went, how I feel about certain drivers, teams, team principles, and all types of other things. So big shout out to Sylvia with Kelly first making it in there. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Morning, afternoon. Mary Beanie, hey bestie. And we got Chaos Druid. Big shout out. Happy birthday again, Mary Beanie. And let's get to it. So we're going to start where I think a lot of respect and kudos should go. And I'm not going to try to make this obscenely too long, any longer than I feel like just kind of freestyling. But I'm going to start off with a driver that I believe deserves a lot of, I don't want to say praise, a lot more respect than maybe that driver had been receiving, and definitely a better look as for opportunities if that driver should choose to have those opportunities. I do believe that if it better suited for the environment, that the driver stayed there. So my driver that did more with less is going to be Alex Albon. Alex Albon, 2022, was 19th, pulling his britches up and getting on with the FW45 to pull in a 13th for 2023. And Alex Albon, in my opinion, did more with less. All right, he did more with less. We all know that Williams was a team, or is a team, that is an angel that has fallen from heaven. I've said that many times, and to me, that is the case. Albon also had seven top 10 finishes. It's about 7 or 8 top 10 qualifying positions. And as well as I believe Alex Albon was a key standard for Williams to understand the potential of their car. Okay. It is very important, in my opinion, that the team have a driver that can be a catalyst for a true standard. Like, we know and believe that this driver is capable and able, and he or she will be able to show us what our machinery can do. Okay. On the other side of the garage, not so much. Okay. But if it had not been for Alex, in my opinion, Williams may not have really known how far of a leap they had come with the changes that they made coming into the 2023 season, okay? And let's also not forget, Alex Albon, I believe, is only 4 seasons in to his career, okay? There are certain drivers that didn't even win a championship until their 7th season, and then really, honestly, they didn't really win that championship. But keep that in mind, 4 seasons in, bounced around, Toro Rosso, Red Bull, falls to Williams. And I also want to say that Alex Albon, I believe, has done a phenomenal job with changing the narrative that was starting to pile on top of him. And that is that his career is likely almost done. I believe Alex Albon started to fall in the category of he's near the back door. And I think a lot of us thought when he went to Williams that this is going to be his last stop. If he doesn't do anything here, he'll likely find himself with Latifi. He'll likely find himself maybe even better, but not as good, in a situation like Schumacher, Mick, which would be better than being out of the door, but not so much. Alex Albon has turned that around. I want to send a big congratulations out to him. I think he's done a phenomenal job there. I do believe it's a better fit for him, character-wise, environmental-wise, and those things going on. So then let's now talk about a driver. Like we talked about Alex Albon. He did more with less. Now let's talk about a driver that's done less with more, okay? Less with more. And I decided not to title these the best driver or the worst driver. I decided to talk about drivers that definitely did more with less, and some drivers did less with more. And in my opinion, a driver that has done less with more is Lance Stroll. And I don't think anybody's going to debate that. I think Lance Stroll has surely done less with more. The AMR 23 was a very highly competitive car this season. Okay, it turned around. Aston Martin made a pivot. He was 15th. Now, I know you're going to look at this and say, well, Wolfpack, 2022, he was 15th. 2023, he was 10th. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, that speaks more about the team and the car than it does about Lance Stroll as a driver. And with a driver who has a teammate next to him who collected 8 podiums, and I do understand, Alex Albon, we gave him more with less. But Lance Stroll is definitely getting the less with more award. I feel like he underachieved. I feel like he underperformed. And I feel like he had less of a reason to do so given the car, the team, and the financial backing that Aston Martin had. And also, let's not talk about in comparison of a driver that so many people fail to ignore while trying to say Lewis Hamilton should retire. The longest standing career driver right now in Alonso outperformed him extremely. Lance is not a rookie. Lance Stroll is not a rookie. He's been 7 seasons in. He is nobody's rookie. He's nobody's noob. So no, I am not going to give him kudos for pulling 10th because his performance was subpar in comparison to what the team and the car would have enabled him to do. He was the bottleneck. Lance Stroll is the bottleneck. Okay? Let's not talk. Listen, yes, he had 12, I believe, top 10 finishes, 8 top 10 qualifying positions. And think about this, 0 podiums. 0 podiums. Not one single podium in this entire season, while his teammate snagged 8. 8 podiums. Paul, big fam, what's up? He says, what's up, fam? Out in the woods hunting today. Bro, what are we getting? Are we getting deer? Because I just had some venison 2 weeks ago, and that thing was smashing. Happy birthday, Mary. Hope you all have a great weekend. Peace and love. Peace and love to you. The family checking in while they in the deer stand. That's what I'm talking about. Are they in the blind? Big shout out to Paul. But yes, Lance Stroll has truly underperformed. 2023 is his highest finish of his F1 career, and that is 7 seasons in. 7 seasons. Lance Stroll's ceiling is here. It has arrived. It has been delivered. It has been forthcoming. Now, what is it going to take for Aston Martin, Lawrence Stroll, to realize that he's going to be your anchor? Lance Stroll is going to be your anchor. Lance Stroll is going to be your albatross around the mariner's neck. He's going to weigh you down. He has weighed you down. There is no excuse. If Lawrence believes tremendously in Lance, in his skill, in his ability, in order to give him an indefinite contract in the seat of an Aston Martin F1 car, yet he did not deliver one single podium to the team while Alonso delivered 8. He finished 10th. Alonso, I believe, finished 4th in the Drivers' Championship. Too many times we saw Lance Stroll so far off the pace, so far off the finishes of Alonso in the same car. And I'm going to say this, nobody here has any suspicion that Aston Martin would indeed have sabotaged Lance Stroll's career or his season. Lance Stroll, you did less with more. So yes, I believe he completely earned that award. Completely earned it, okay? Now, let's go into the best team. Best team of 2023. Let's talk about the best team, okay? And the best team of 2023 is going to be Red Bull Racing. Yes, Red Bull Racing. It's going to be statistically and just performance-wise as a team. I don't think it's fair to indict everybody in Red Bull that contributes in the pit stops, in the mechanics, engineers, back at the factory, that everybody has the characteristics of Max Verstappen. And even if we were talking about the characteristics of somebody, that still does not say that we should not evaluate their performance as a team. And as a team, Red Bull is the best team. Yes, they got first in 2022. I understand that they breached the cost cap. They got first this season. I understand the cost cap of breaching is the gift that keeps on giving. But let me say this. I think there is something to be said the strategy, the consistency, also pit stops, far crushing another team. The ability to develop, okay? The ability to consistently go race in, race out. Now, I'm going to be fair when I also say this. Red Bull definitely also showed that they exposed themselves to a degree with the lack of ability to perform inside of smaller windows, inside of tire challenges. That definitely did stump Red Bull. But still, other teams were stumped as well. And I'm also going to say this. Having the fastest car on the grid will allow you to make those errors and still capitalize in the race. This is no different than Mercedes in that facet, in that small compartment. That is no different than Mercedes. I think as of right now, we're going to talk about it. Mercedes had the ability because they delivered a machine that was performing elite. They had a driver whom is the GOAT and is elite in Formula One to drive that car. And Mercedes was able to get away with certain things, yet still capitalize because they had the power of a driver who was phenomenal and still is, and a car that was out of this world at that point in time until the RB19 is completely out of this world. It's in another stratosphere. It's in another galaxy. Okay. Teams are going to have to catch up. But yes, Red Bull is indeed the best team to me in 2023 overall is a package deal. And the worst team, okay, the worst team of 2023. And this team, I think, sold a lot of hype. They sold us on a lot of supposed focused development at the very beginning of the season. And that team, the worst team of 2023, in my opinion, is Alfa Romeo. Sliding 3 spots in the Constructors' Championship from 6th to 9th from 2022 to 2023. But this is solely not the reason why they are getting the worst team. And I do completely understand that in the Constructors' Championship standings, Haas is last. I do completely understand that through this season, Haas had other things, and we will get into that. What's up, fam? Another season in the books. That's a fact with the best family on the planet. So Alfa Romeo, 0 wins, okay? 0 poles. 1 fastest lap and 0 podiums between a very seasoned driver in Valtteri and a rookie, which they seem to believe in Zhou. No podiums at all. I cannot fully blame or fully lay responsibility on the lack of performance on Valtteri or Zhou. You're not going to tell me, nor are you going to sell me. Now, true, I will debate all day that Mercedes may have made the better decision for their future, looking for somebody that will be a succession plan when Lewis Hamilton walks out of the door. That person is not Valtteri. I'm not saying that Valtteri is not a better driver than Russell. I'm not saying that. I'm not debating that right now. I'm saying that if a team is looking to say, where is our future going to be? Where is the driver market? We need to pluck one of these young up-and-coming stars that is showing potential, because Lewis Hamilton one day, period, factually, will be walking out of the door. Then what, where, and where will we be? That is what they have to decide. If you keep Valtteri, you miss Russell. Russell goes somewhere else. Look at the driver market right now. Who are they going to get? I mean, come on. Who are they going to get? So I do understand the business move. I do understand the succession move. Although I do not agree that Russell would have been better for the team this season than Valtteri. And as on the turn point, you're not going to tell me that Valtteri all of a sudden became this horrible driver. I'm not buying that. I am laying largely the responsibility of the failure or decreased performance this season at the feet of Alfa Romeo as a team. Don't forget what they told us. Don't forget what they told us in the livery lunch. Galacticus says, do you think if Alfa Romeo did better, they'd stay for 2024? Think about it. They are staying. Think about this. Alfa Romeo staying, but they're joining up with Haas, and Haas is last in the Constructor Championship. I think the circumstances around Alfa Romeo exist about the entry of Audi coming to the Sauber chassis because they still did better one tick up than Haas. If that was the case, you wouldn't go to Haas. Haas did last, and they looked foolish. So I think it's more about we want to still stay on the grid. Where can we go? Haas is open. They're a carousel of main sponsorship. The Sauber chassis is getting ready to prepare for a big dog entry in Audi. I think it's more about that than it is about them doing better or worse. I think that's more what it's about. But let's not be fooled. Joe only had 3 top 10 finishes. Bottas had 2 top 10 finishes. And I still give them a little bit of credit, given how much we struggled. Think about it. It was some portions of the season where we didn't even think about Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo wasn't even hardly talked about in some races. They were so transparent and visually unappealing. It was like they weren't even there. Some of the time they weren't there due to reliability issues and all that other stuff. So yes, Alfa Romeo coming into the season, we're focused on the rear. We've done this development. We've done this. The awesome liveries they dawned up on us, which were great. They had one of the best liveries of the season. But they were, to me, the worst team because I expected more from them. They gave it to us like we should expect more from them, and they performed horribly. So that's why they get the worst team award, in my opinion. So next category that we are going to get into, all right? The next category is going to be about circuits, all right? Going to pick a circuit that I don't care for the most and a circuit that I think probably delivers, if it doesn't, more potential or did enjoy. And the circuit that I don't care for the most is Monaco. It's a lack circuit. Alfa Romeo, womp, womp, womp. Will says womp, womp, womp. That's correct. Alfa Romeo. Awful. He calls them Alfa Romeo. I like that. That's a new name. I'm going to write that down. We're going to call them Alfa Romeo. I like that. That's a good one. Yep. They're going to be awful until they do something better. So I'm writing that down. All right. So then Monaco, to me, I've always said it, Monaco must go. It holds nostalgia. Great. The stars come out for it. Good. You know what else holds nostalgia and the stars come out for? The Hollywood Strip. Yeah. If you want that, have that. Have a fashion show. Matter of fact, have a celebratory race during the breaks that the Formula One calendar is not racing. Do that at Monaco. But Monaco is finding itself in a position where that circuit is not going to facilitate. We already heard rumblings this season that it wasn't even truly rated good enough to be a Formula One track. How true that is, I don't know. But I do know this. Racing sucks there. It's stagnant. And unless you have very inclement weather, nothing exciting happens at Monaco. Nothing exciting. Unless you get a pass or an overtake in an area where it is just crazy to do, it's not exciting. It's not competitive. It's a follow the leader. Wherever you land in qualifying likely is where you're going to finish the race outside of horrible strategy being deployed, a significant failure where you can't continue, or a collision. That's it. Monaco is not that track. I understand it. And think about it. People often give the reasons that don't have shit to do with racing. They give reasons for Monaco to stay that don't have to do with racing right now. In today's time, with today's cars. They're going to talk about, it's a history track. Great. Leave it in the history. Put it in a book. Read it every now and then. The stars come out for Monaco. Great. The stars come out for Vegas and Miami. So what? King Ring, big shout out for the super sticker. Paul says while he's still out there hunting, Monaco sucks for modern cars. Trade it in. Thank you, Paul. Kyle Lamy. Trade it for Kyle Lamy. The Kyle Lamy track is nice. Now, will it deliver good racing? We got to see. But Monaco, in my opinion, is a lack circuit. I was going to say whack, but I don't want to be that disrespectful to something that holds so much history and respect in a lot of people's eyes. So I say lack. Okay? Give me some points. I'm going to be a bit respectful there. So with that being said, on the flip side of that coin, like we have here, Wolfpack coin. You see it got OG because that's mine. On the flip side of that coin, the next circuit up that I think has the potential unseen for right now. Needs some changing, but definitely what's surprising, especially given how things started, is Vegas. Vegas is our spicy circuit of 2023. I am going to be completely honest. I was not really sold on Vegas. I called it an upside down pig, and I still do, because that's what it looks like. It looks like an upside down pig. I'm not sold on Vegas. I wasn't sold on Vegas. I wasn't, but now I am. Vegas came in with some tremendous problems, caused Ferrari some headaches. There may have been some things that were overlooked in regards to all the shenanigans and all the spice and all the hoopla. And guess what? We have a family member in the chat right now that went to Vegas and vouches for not only its racing, challenging, competition, and entertainment, but the facilities and the attributes of going there as a fan in the grandstands and enjoying yourself. will.i.am was there physically. The food, he said, was good. The seats he had were good. The overall appearance and ambience of Vegas was good. And it was surprising for a lot of us. Don't forget, they footed the bill on this. Okay, no organizer. Liberty Media, Formula One, this is them. A lot of money poured in. And I have to say, I doubted it, but they proved me wrong. Galactica says Monaco is just a parade. Make it a kart track. I even agree with that. Make it a kart track. For real, make it a kart racing track. Put it on the FIA karting circuit. But Formula One, lose it. It's just... But as for Vegas, oh yeah. I think we all were surprised about the challenging and competitive racing that we got to see there. I think that the GP race wowed a lot of us. And I think it took a lot of us by surprise. Now, it's not to say they don't have things to change. It's not to say they don't have things to improve. I think Vegas needs to adjust their time for when the race starts. I think the temperature change tremendously to a point, maybe a bit much. Maybe just pull it back an hour so they still get a bit of that temperature change, but not as full on as that. When you start nearing times in the winter or fall seasons in the United States of America, especially in the desert, temperatures are very bipolar. It will be warm, midnight hit, and sun's on the other side of the world, buddy. There's no heat, temperatures drop, especially ground temps. And it was very challenging for teams, which I'm not opposed to that. Even if they keep it, I'm cool with that. Make these teams find a way around it. But also, let's not forget the talk of getting rid of tire blankets and the decreased heating in the tire blankets. So it's going to become even more so challenging. will.i.am said, let's go Vegas. Yes, the best race for my first race. This can allow for races like Kyalami to exist in the future. I'm with it. And let's get away from the whole shenanigans of supplying Russians with ammunition like Russians need to be supplied with ammunition. Like Haas Innovations didn't supply Russia with piece parts to make ammunition or firearms or anything else they were making. But they're still here. They're still racing. Supposedly America's team. Let's stop that, okay? Kyalami needs to tremendously, South Africa, Africa period, needs a circuit for Formula One. There are fans over there that are die-hard Formula One fans, motorsports fans. Racer X210 says Vegas was awesome. Surprised in seeing Ferrari able to beat the RB19, and speed was awesome. Hopefully Ferrari pulls it together and make a solid car. Same for Mercedes and McLaren. I am with you on that, brother. I am completely with you on that. So yes, Vegas, my spicy circuit of 2023. I think there are only more awesome things to come from Vegas, especially as they dial it in. I am not omitting or even overlooking the downfalls of Vegas as well. That manhole situation was a failure. That was a failure. Okay, the situation in which your communication and your ability to come in a little bit smoother with the civilians, the citizens, the community there was a failure. Okay, there's no way Formula One going in should have been okay with some businesses losing millions, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, without there being a plan to back them or to find a way to compensate them with merch, with the ability to advertise, with something. That was also a failure. There needs to be a bit better job of Formula One going into areas, because they had a similar situation in Miami. Okay, there's something you're not doing. There's something that you're missing. Formula One, there's something that you're missing. There's a step that you're not taking when you're going into these areas to minimize your impact negatively up on a community. And I do think you're a bit ornery and very, very arrogant. And maybe you feel like you shouldn't have to give a damn to a degree, but you need to. Trying to tell people to upcharge $1,500 and something to come eat at restaurants because we're having our track come around this portion is crazy. Okay? Don't tell anybody how to make their money, and at the same time, don't impact them getting money. Find a better way to go in. All right? So, that being said, the next topic is going to be about pit stops. Galactica says Vegas need to do better by people next year. I totally agree. Paul says NYC F1 GP. That would be awesome. My only thing with New York is where are they going to put it? New York just had a drag strip closed down that had been around there for a long time. New York streets are horrible. The driving there is horrible. Where would they place it? I think that maybe outside of New York, there are some better areas outside of New York, maybe coming more west, but still north. I think there may be, I would perhaps like to see maybe a circuit in Indianapolis. That's what I'm thinking. Still that racing heritage. Indianapolis, I think probably there. Somewhere around there is what I'm thinking. Maybe even Wisconsin's just not a good spot. But yeah, I think Indianapolis, probably that area. I can go with that. I can go with that. In New York, I need to know maybe where, Paul, would you want to put a circuit around the NYC area? Do that, then I can look on a map and see like, okay, I can see that. And another thing is, I don't think that Formula One need to put these circuits in inner city places. I think that inside the Vegas Strip, yeah, it's cool, but I think it would have been better to do something outside of the Strip. Because for all those businesses to close down and then you have to reopen a certain portions of the weekend, that wasn't good. Meadowlands. Okay, Meadowlands. Real time, I'm going to look up Meadowlands for the fam and take a look in Google Maps and see what this looks like. Just going to take a gander. Just real quick, take a gander. Why not? This fam, we talking about potential Formula One landing spots for new circuits. I'm going to take a look at Meadowlands right now. I'm going to take a look and see what we got. Meadowlands, PA. Welcome, Bundy 1080. What's going on? We got Wolfpack member right there, but has been here before because they have a yellow badge. So big shout out to you. So I'm looking at this right now and we are landing. Okay. Okay, Paul, maybe I can see what you putting down. Of course, that is maybe, okay, maybe I can see that. Maybe I can see that. Just outside of Meadowlands, more to the east, I could possibly see that. Maybe. There's some space for it, so I could possibly see that. So the next area that we're going to get into, we're going to talk about pit stops. Paul, Giant Stadium area. It is Giant Stadium. I can see that. That might not be such a bad look. Bad place to go and try to see. Like do some surveying. So the next thing we got, pit stops. Now I'm going to tell you, these guys are pit rock stars. All together, pit rock stars. McLaren. Now, yes, of course, I know in points, fastest pit stops went to Red Bull. But Red Bull didn't pull a 1.80 out of their hat, let alone 1.9, which we've seen from McLaren several times. McLaren has often wowed us with these lightning fast pit stops. I've seen them practice. So yeah, 2023 pit rock stars goes to McLaren, okay? Just hands down. That 1.8 in Qatar, crazy. So now, being with that said, we got to talk about it. Well, if McLaren's the pit rock stars, who's the pit not stars? Okay, who is that? And I'm going to tell you right now, the pit fall champs are Mercedes. It is an indictment on your legacy. It is an indictment on your achievements. It is an indictment on your accomplishments. It is an indictment on all the plethora of awards that you have received. It is an indictment that Mercedes cannot get their crap together enough to do pit stops on average of 2.4, 2.2 seconds. It is crazy. Yes, I know Lewis Hamilton has 7 world championship titles, but you are 7th in the fastest pit stops, and you have never at any point in time in the 2023 season been in the top 3 on any weekend for the fastest pit stop. Mercedes gets pitfall champs. And you're lucky I didn't say chumps, because I got a little bit more respect, like for Monaco, for Mercedes. Okay? But next season, if it continues, it will be chumps with a big U. It will be pitfall chumps for Mercedes. They better do something to make up for this lack of performance, because you want to know why? Because you don't have any graciousness anywhere else. The car development sucked. Oftentimes, too many times than not, your strategies sucked. And this is a real thing. A real thing. Mercedes, listen to me. Your pit stops suck. Your strategies on average, horrible. Your development, as in the car, for 2 seasons, back-to-back, ass. And I do mean runch, stank, pooted, didn't wipe good, ass. Get it together and get it up. Get it right, get it tight. I'm just keeping it real. You got to keep it real. Got to keep it real. You're looking bad. People starting to question y'all like y'all trying to take Ferrari's place. That's not good. It's not good. So yes, 2023 pitfall champs is Mercedes. It is what it is. You might not like it, but it's true. If you don't like it, write a letter. Write a letter, tell them, I wish you do better. But as of right now, that's exactly what it is. All right? So now we'll continue going. Will I Am says 7-time not stop champs back-to-back since 2017. Damn. Goodness gracious, Will I Am. Did you have to put that funk on that? Yep, you sure did, because you keeps it real, Will. So now we're going to talk about development. All right, and these are my own little names and stuff. I just make shit up. Sometimes I put things in there for haters to grab onto and have something to say about. It's just what I do to have fun. I like trolls. Every now and then I fish for trolls, throw them out there. Got one. Just too easy these days. Too easy. But I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you, I even said it. If we probably go back on one of our videos as a season, and we're going to compare our livery launches of 2023 to the livery launches of 2024 as far as ranking and see how far away they are. But this team gets the team develop slop. They develop sloppy, not even sloppy toppy. Sloppy toppy is good. Sloppy is just bad. This is bad. Alpha, and as Will called them, Alfa Romeo, you came into this season just gloating, just rambling, just going on and on and on during the livery launch about how much focused y'all put into the rear of this car. Well, evidently the rear of that car had shit to do with aero and power. Because you looked awful out there, Alfa Romeo. You looked bad. Although you look good, because I said that this is the best livery of the year. This is the best livery of the season. We don't have the best livery award because we wait for liveries to come out. But this is the best livery of the season. All while you look great, you performed like crap. And you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of when you go to the club. You come in, you get your first drink, you ain't too drunk yet. So your perception and your ability to make good judgment is still intact. It's still intact. And you look across there and you see somebody, you're like, damn, they look good, bro. Yo, I'm about to go over here and try my shot, bro. Get over there. Start walking up like, hey, what's your name? Open their mouth and boom, boom. Boom, boom. Oh, shit. Did Bruce Lee just kick me in the face? The breath is horrible. Breath, pow, 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 pow. Oh, my God. Oh shit, get a little closer, acne all over the damn face. Then you realize they got on spandex, they holding their shit in with a waist belly trainer. And you start realizing, oh my gosh, you look good. What the hell happened? Alfa Romeo is what happened. They were bad. They were hideous. All while looking good with the clothes and stuff on. It was a trick, y'all. It was a trick. Alfa Romeo tricked us. With that livery launch was already subpar, but they talked a good game. Like, yeah, we focused. We put so much development in this. We put so much time in this. We did this, and that. You did everything except win. You did everything except give your drivers the opportunity to finish in top fives. You give everything except putting a car on track that was competitive. You were goddamn near Casper. You should be Casper for Halloween next year because you was invincible. Oh my goodness. So yes, okay, I'm not gonna beat on too bad. Racer X says if McLaren is consistent with these fast stops like this and have a solid car, I'm telling you, next season could be fire. Racer X210 also says Ferrari better develop a fast, solid car this season coming up. If they don't, I have my McLaren shirt already in my shopping cart, ready to order. Man, get that thing. Hey, get that thing on order. Hey, trust me, I'm waiting. With McLaren, hey, I got this hat right here, signed. Dan Rick, Lando, I got it signed. It's right here. I'm ready. I'm ready and pumped. Like I got my other hat. If Perez win another race, I got that hat ready for when McLaren win a race. I'm gonna wear that hat. I don't know for how long I'm gonna wear it because I like my hats, but I'm gonna wear it. Ferrari, you know what I'm saying? I understand, hey, it's hard right now. I've always said the Ferrari fans really need some good counseling. Like Ferrari should have a stipend for counseling. Like, cause we know what we doing to our fans. We are really putting a lot of stress on our fans. We're letting them down. There's a lot of emotional distress to go around with being a Ferrari fan. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mercedes fans, you're not too far from having to get that same stipend. Because Mercedes, the way they over there acting, might be some trouble. All right? So, Wolfpack, if that's a developed slop, Will I Am says Alpha has the ick. I think it's what the kids say. Bro, you stupid. You stupid, man. Oh, by the way, don't forget, everybody that does a super chat in this live event, probably another, is going to go into a wheel spin. We'll go into a wheel spin for these hats. I'm going to give 4 of these away. That means there will be 4 winners of the Purple Sector's Lifestyle Wolf Performance hats. Living your lifestyle, the best life, living my best life, okay? 4 of those are going to be given away on a wheel spin coming up soon, okay? I'm going to tell you, everybody that's in, that does a super chat, your name's going to go on the wheel, all right? We might do 2 lives before we do it and then do the wheel spin on the following weekend. I'm going to make my note, okay? Make my note right now so I don't forget, because you know I do a lot, all right? So I'm going to do this. Wheel spin. Hats. 4 peeps. And I'm going to put my note right here so I don't forget, all right? So yes, everybody does a super chat. Your name's going to go into the wheel. If you do another super chat on another live or whatever, your name will go up there more than once, okay? So that's how it's just going to go. So Wolfpack, if Alfa Romeo as Will has deemed them the name to have was slop, who was on top? Well, let me tell you who was on top. McLaren was on top. To me, 2023, I feel like McLaren gets the team development award. I really do. Because of just where they were, where they started, the troubles they went through with anything, even coming out of the 2022 season. Let's not forget. McLaren during their livery launch were very lackluster. They weren't too motivated. Let's not forget the postpone or the delay of their wind tunnel. All that money spent. Let's not forget about the postpone and delay of their simulator, high-tech, state-of-the-art simulator. Held up on that. They starting on the back foot is not even the word. They were starting on their back asses. Okay? Starting on their back ass. Sylvia Witt Kelly says, just super chat for the hat. What up, peeps? What's going on, Sylvia Witt Kelly? So yes, Aston Martin, no, McLaren get team development award from me. They also, because they came from the bottom to the top, performing. Okay, now still they're floating between 4th and 5th since 2019 with the 3rd position in 2022 being at their peak. They still floating, but I think what I was expecting from McLaren coming into 2021, that didn't happen. 2022, I think I can safely expect 2024 to be an upswing right out of the gate. I think it's just going to be an upswing. If it's not, I'd be surprised. There has to be something that completely went wrong, because as of right now, McLaren is on the up. They hit. Okay, don't forget, Lando hit his stride in Austria. And since then, top 5 finishes. Piastri getting the updates after Lando hitting his stride in Silverstone in Great Britain. And top 5 finishes. Doing his thing. All right, I am looking for McLaren to come out swinging in 2024 for sure. I'm looking for them to come out and do their thing. So now, without further ado, and I hope my brother Will I Am is still in the chat. Will I Am, this is for you, bro. This is for you. So now we're going to get into drivers, but not just any drivers. We're going to get into rookies. Yeah, I said it like that. Rookies.